Hello again, friends, and welcome to another edition of the Weekly Spark, powered by eFuse. I'm your host, OG Pickle. It's good to see you again. If you're new around here, I'm OG Pickle. I catch you up on news from around the world of gaming and esports, and we talk about fun topics and video games and athletes and video game athletes. I don't know. I make it up as I go, but I love seeing you back for another edition of the Spark. And with that, let's not dawdle. I've got your attention, so let's see how long I can keep it. Weekly Spark, week 10. Let's hit it. And our first story in the Weekly Spark, and I'm just getting this one out of the way because we didn't learn a single thing. DrDisrespect has come out for the first time in weeks and commented on his recent ban from Twitch. He did an interview with PC Gamer magazine where he talked about his ban, the rumors, the future in gaming, blah, 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 blah. And what I'm going to be honest with you guys, all it came down to was we answered nothing. Nothing came of it. There was no new information. He still doesn't know why he's banned. Surprise, we're still going around in circles there. So that's my first story. That is all you'll hear from it. If you want to look up more, you can look up the interview in PC Gamer magazine, but I'm not going to dawdle on it. There's no new information, a lot of rumors. Sick of it, but it is newsworthy. And there you go. Number one, out of the books. Get it out here. Boom. And our second story in the Weekly Spark. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I don't even know if that's right or wrong. Regardless, Amazon's first big major release, Crucible, is being put back into the testing phase after poor feedback from players. That's right, Crucible, if you're not familiar, is Amazon's first big push to jump into the esports market. It's that team-based PC game where you pick your hero class and you guys work together on a roster to destroy a hive located throughout the map. But like I said, this free-to-play shooter that came out from Amazon is now being put back into closed beta after not being able to compete with some of the bigger titles coming out right now. Regardless, Amazon said it will listen to player feedback, take it into consideration, and continue to make the game better, ultimately leaving it to the players to decide whether this game will stay or go away forever. But we do know right now it's heading back to a pre-release stage with a limited number of players. Will it succeed? I don't know. I played the beta. I tried it a little bit out with some friends. It's fine. It's not great. It's good. It's okay. But we'll see, and only time will tell if this game will move on. And our next story in the Weekly Spark, video game prices are getting more and more expensive, and the pricing for some next-gen games, well, it's giving people a little bit of sticker shock. That's right, if you haven't seen the news, the upcoming NBA 2K21 titles for PlayStation 5s and the Xbox Series X showed an MSRP of $69.99 for their standard editions. That's $10 more than what we're typically used to paying. And while this may be unexpected or expected for others, although I'm not a big fan of $70 games, keep in mind retail prices for major releases or AAA titles have not moved since Activision launched Call of Duty 2 back in 2006. But regardless, Microsoft addressed the elephant in the room, saying that customers and consumers will ultimately decide what price is right for them. Now, I read that two ways. I can see it as, well, if you don't like the price, then don't buy it. Or you could also see it as, if the consumer demand isn't high enough for a $70 game and people aren't willing to pay it, then the companies will adjust. And while the $70 price tag may come as a shock to you, it still comes at a difficult time, an unprecedented time in the industry, particularly with a looming recession and pandemic fallout going and the world struggling. So it's unfortunate that the world of video games sees this jump. But we'll see just how long and if it's around to stay. But regardless, we've got our first AAA title, NBA 2K21, with a $70 price tag. And our last story in the Weekly Spark, in a pretty good segue. I don't have enough of these. I'm proud of myself. We got a great segue. We just talked about $70 MSRP for some of these new next-gen games coming out. Shoot over the segue. Video game spending in the U.S. has reached its highest point since 2010, according to a new NPD Group report, with sales through June reaching $6.6 billion on hardware, software, and accessories. It's the highest total for the first 6 months of a year since the spending hit $7 billion almost a decade ago. And you guys might have noticed it too, all the spending going on right now as we're kind of stuck in our homes, most of us working from home indefinitely or part-time, picking up gaming, starting to stream again. But regardless, I went to buy a webcam the other day. I couldn't find one. There was none. There's no good models. Everything's being sold out. So I can totally see in just my small little bubble how much the sales have affected across the United States. But it's not the first record of 2020 is set for video game sales. The US hit an all-time spending quarterly record earlier this year. And with new consoles coming out and $70 MSRPs and Microsoft and PlayStation 5 to boost hardware sales. 2020's record-setting run may not be far from over. And with that, another weekly Spark is in the books. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I appreciate you being here every single week. I'm having a blast giving these news, notes, and more. If you guys want to leave comments, a little feedback, some people have told me about mic stuff. Some people have told me about lighting and webcam stuff. Look, I take all your feedback into consideration. The comments section down there is great. You can @ me on eFuse. You can hit me up on all socials. Regardless, guys, thank you for letting me do this show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited, and I'll see you next week. Get out of here, knuckleheads, for more news, notes, and more. A weekly Spark powered by eFuse. I'm OG Pickle. Peace, guys. Have a good week.